Possessed interview with Bob Yost, take 1. How's the Possessed Reformation going so far?
Pretty good. We just finally completed the lineup again. That's the next question.
I would like to know what is the goal with the Reformation.
To achieve rock starism. No, just to do more albums and more playing.
From what I know, you have some real big problems to find the right members. It seems pretty insane since everybody would like to play in a band like Possessed, whose name is pretty big when it comes to death thrash music terms. But at the same time, it seems that being based in SF nowadays and playing pure death music seems to be a disadvantage since most of the bands that wants to access to glory and playing Metallica Testament type material. What's your view about that?
Well, the reason the scene isn't so great out here is because SF is full of a bunch of fags that don't have the balls to play what we're playing.
Okay. Being on the musical side of SF, what's your opinions about all those bands playing Bay Area stuff?
They're all a bunch of fucking homosexual fags because they all want to play the same goddamn thing. They all want to sound like Metallica meets Exodus meets Testament meets sucking on dick. And the only good bands around here are Autopsy, Hex, and Sadis.
After listening to the new stuff, it definitely appears that the songwriting is near 7 churches period. What pushed you to write that brutal, uncompromising stuff instead of the more accessible stuff from Eyes of Horror?
Well, it's just like Mike just picked up... What? What?
Don't do that. Drink your wine. No, keep talking.
Mike just picked up his guitar, and this is the type of songs that are coming out.
Is there any relation with the fact that Larry is not in the band anymore?
No, because if you go and look at all the albums, Larry only wrote a little minute stuff. On the whole, it was all Mike's writing. It was just the moods he was in at the time.
In fact, nobody knows really the true reasons of the Possessed breakup except the members themselves. But it seems Larry Lalonde was the reason since the stuff he wrote and wanted to play was much more melodic than the Possessed stuff. What's your opinion?
Well, actually, Larry had nothing at all to do with the breakup. It was a combination of other things, but what it came down to is the band as a whole had no say on anything, and everyone just got fed up with it.
So first we've seen something about the Possessed Reformation. It was specified that you didn't want a second guitar player, just being a 3-piece band. So what caused that change of mind? You only wanted it to be a 3-piece band?
No, that's a mistake. It wasn't going to be a 3-piece. It was always going to be a 4-piece. It originally started out as 1 guitar, bass, drums, and a lead vocalist. And then we found a drummer, and we were practicing, and the rhythm sounded too empty when Mike was doing solos and stuff. So we tried out a second guitar player, and it sounds a lot more heavier that way. So we're just going that route.
Bob, how did you get the possibility of joining Mike and reforming Possessed?
Well, one day Mike was in the tub, and he realized he was destined for greatness. So he gave me a call.
And what caused the sudden breakup of Desecration?
Actually, it wasn't a sudden breakup because we had broken up like 2 months after the original Possessed broke up.
It's still unbelievable, by the way, that Desecration never got a record deal in 86, 87. How do you explain that?
Actually, what's kind of humorous about that was Combat contacted us a month after the band broke up, and I kept it, and I tried milking it, and I sent a tape as my new band as Desecration, and they weren't interested in it because we were punk rock, and we didn't know how to play any of our instruments.
How can you explain that all the bands in the SF area who play death thrash isn't its purest form broke up for the major part, like Desecration, Hyrax, Black Death, War God?
Actually, a lot of those bands aren't from the Bay Area. War God and Hyrax are from LA, and the reason all the other bands broke up had nothing to do with musical, like, change, as in the bands wanted to wimp out or anything. It's just they all had their own reasons why they broke up.
Beautiful. So, Mike, at the
Yo, this is Mike Terrell talking to you now. So what's the question, dear?
At the late news, you'll do the singing for Possessed. What caused that decision? You probably have the capacity to create something not as raw as Jeff, I suppose. But who knows, since nobody never heard you singing.
Oh, so you're referring to my vocal ability, huh? Well, actually, there isn't much difference between me and Jeff, because I can sing just like him. No, actually, Jeff's helping me with my voice, and he taught me this today.
Do you think there's a possibility one day that Mike Seuss will rejoin Possessed as drummer, or is it out of the question?
Well, this is Mark again, and it's completely out of the question.
By the way, Mike, are you happy with the stuff you've done in Possessed in 85, 86, and 87, or do you regret something?
I am not like Larry, and I do not regret a single thing, and I think it was killer what we did because of all the women I got. It was hell of fun.
When you'll have the final lineup and huh? Oh, that must be enough. Okay, I'll start over. When you'll, I guess.
You said when you have the final lineup.
Oh, okay. When you'll have the final lineup and enough material, what do you plan to do?
Well, we plan on, right now what we're doing is, once our new drummer gets back out here from Ohio, we're going in and doing a 3-song demo, and then we're going to continue writing more material and go in the studio and do a 10-song record.
Would you like to sign a new deal with Combat?
Yeah, if they give me lots of money. No, we've been talking Combat a lot. We don't know if the contract's still in effect, the old contract or what.
What's your views from both of you about World Thrash Death Speed scene with the apparition of bands like Mordred Angel, Napalm Death, Terrorizer, and all those mega fast bands?
I think it's great that they didn't give up on it, like some other people around here. And they're still playing what they want to play, and they're not compromising to get on MTV like some people.
Do you think they are as brutal as the bands from 85, 86, even if the new bands play much faster?
Yeah, sure. They're pretty much doing the same thing as what was done in 85 and 86. They're playing fast and heavy.
What do you think of all these recent reformation of old thrash bands from 85 like Master, Deathstrike, Repulsion, Massacre?
I think it's great as long as they're doing it because they want to do it, and it's not like for a type of thing of just getting instant popularity or anything like that. I mean, it's like if they broke up a long time ago because they weren't happy with each other or what else, and they've like grown up and they've decided I had fun back then, let's do it again. Well, that's perfectly fine.
Would you agree if I say that since death metal is in a real good market, money helps some bands to reform?
Probably.
That's a hard question since you can't answer for those bands, but I would like to know your opinion.
About the money thing? Well, like I said, I think it's like really stupid if they reformed again just to make a quick buck because they're not into it because they enjoy it. I mean, if they decide to get back together again because they realize they had a lot of fun together, well, that's perfectly fine.
Anything you want to add?
Yeah, Mike wants all girls to send nude photos.
Thanks, man.
Oh, thanks, man. Oh yeah, by the way, I want to say that wasn't really Mike that answered them questions. He's home right now, taking off his pants for some girl to shock her, so I am answering these questions for him. Goodbye.